Alright, fuckers, welcome back to Practicing Portraits, an artwod roadmap, right? Artwod is the best platform in the world to teach you how to teach you how to draw from imagination. They give you the work, not they give you the work, not the shortcut work that lets you draw like this. They also help you completely fix your speech pathology. Wait, is that even a thing? Speech pathology? Your pathological speech? They help you speak better. They don't. Clearly, I'm fucking evident of that. But who am I? I'm Biggie. I've been drawing for 3 years and 9 months, right? The fundamentals, this channel is a repository of my practice. The fundamentals are 90% of my practice. I aim to prove anybody can draw, yada, yada, yada. Get your fucking pen, get your paper, draw along with me. Let's focus on the effort. It's the only thing we can control. Wow, I really fucked that intro up. That was a fucking butt-fucky of an intro, bro. I fucking reamed it nice and good. With that beautiful intro aside, yeah, get your pen, get your paper, please draw along. Holy shit. By the way, I did not feel like drawing. Like, the last half hour was me fucking wrestling with myself. Being like, do I really? Like, I was Googling, being like, do I really have to think this hard, man? Do I really? It's like, yes, you do have to think this hard. Right? I was having a fucking argument with Gemini, being like, bro, please, just, I don't need to do all this extra shit. It's like, shut the fuck up and do the work. I'm like, you're right. God damn it, you're right. One change I'm gonna be making, because this made me realize that I am focusing way too much on proportions. Like this travesty with when I was trying to visualize all this shit while applying, visualize all the calculations while drawing the face at the end, right? It made me realize that I am literally, and by the way, I've already started thinking, oh, what am I doing? We're doing the artwod portrait roadmap. I'm looking at a reference and I'm visualizing this schema in my mind. What is the schema? What is the mental model? I am visualizing and calculating in my mind on the page, the box, all 6 sides seen through, the center, the diagonal cross sections on every single side, visible and invisible of the box, the center planes that intersect inside, the 3 center planes that intersect inside the box, the 3 ellipses the ellipses in each of those center planes, and then the sphere that encompasses those 3 ellipses. I.e., it's a fucking 4-layered, 4-perspective layered mental model that I'm building, right? That's the building voice crack that I'm building, right? So, yeah, I did not feel like drawing today, but if I can do it, you can do it. So get your fucking ass up off the couch, or if you're already on your drawing desk, plant it back down. Get your pen, get your paper, and draw along with me, right? Drawing is thinking. Let's put in as much effort as we can, right? And right now, I am obviously looking at the reference and I'm trying to visualize the schema, right? But what I realize is like, I'm going to be deconstructing, like when I draw the box or when I draw at the end of it, when I draw the person's face, right? While trying to hold this entire fuckery in my mind, right? These fucking 24, 36, whatever, like this few dozen calculations in my mind, in my working memory, because draftsmanship is a working memory equation. Right now, today, I can't think. I literally cannot think. So I'm actively forcing my brain to the best of my ability. I'm actively forcing my brain and I'm ghosting right now, right? But I'm actively, oh, dude, this is already so difficult. So much friction. But I'm actively forcing my brain to hold as many items in my working memory as I possibly can, right? And while I'm looking at this guy, right, because I actually found a really good reference. I'm going to put that in the description of this video, and like every video onwards as well, we'll have that link as well. It's literally, because I've been running out of angles to draw for faces, right? So this is literally an angle, and while I'm talking, I'm thinking about the invisible, let's see, X, Y, and Z, right? I'm constantly going back and forth between visualizing this guy's head, or like not visualizing, but visualizing the box on this guy's head, like within this guy's head, like encompassing this guy's face with the box, right? His head with the box, and then like appropriately, because his eyebrow line is the center line, right? Is this center line, that's the eyebrow line, and then trying to look back here and be like, okay, like what does it actually look like? What's the angle? But I'm really struggling right now to see the box, and this is where it's so beautiful. This is where recall comes in, right? This is where recall forces me to think. Right, it literally, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm recalling what, as best as I can, a perfect cube in this perspective. This is the box, right? This is essentially the perspective that we're looking at here, right? It's something along the lines like this. And what I'm trying to visualize to the best of my ability, right? That's why we keep changing the angle, because we're interleaving that angle as well, is every single diagonal cross section in the visible and invisible planes. And I am trying to articulate this as much as I can, because you need to know exactly what I'm thinking. And it's very important that you know exactly what I'm thinking, such that you know that, oh, drawing is constant thinking, right? It is normal that every time he tries to visualize, he immediately feels a very, very, very tall wall of friction, right? It's a fucking great wall, some might even say. It was broken down 40 years ago, but unfortunately in my mind it's back. It's back. But what's it called? Was it 40 years ago? Probably like fucking, Jesus Christ, it's 2020. It's like 60 years ago at this point, right? 50 years ago? I don't fucking know my history. Do not come to this channel for history. Of course, until I start drawing historical artifacts. Then you can come to be like, he desecrated, oh god, that one line is off. But shit jokes aside, right? I am actively thinking and constantly trying to get my work, because I've been doing all these bottom angles so much that now like I have to, again, interleaving, right, changing the angle, like, and I have to build, and I can't lie to myself, like we're not doing 2D mapping, right, we're doing 3D volumetric spatial reasoning, like geometric spatial reasoning. I don't know why I keep saying volumetric and spatial geometric, like I can't keep fucking interchanging them, bro. Stick to one. But either way, right, so right now I'm really trying to fucking visualize this box, and that's all I'm doing, because I can barely see the box at this scale, right, at this scale, at this specific orientation, right, with the diagonal cross sections all visualized. But I am leaning in to the sheer discomfort, because I know the science behind what's occurring right now, right? My brain, the neurons which are responsible for creating this mental model are being forced to actively recall the mental model, like the schema, the dozens of calculations that occur, and the new context in which it has to be applied, as well as the ability to spatially reason. My parietal lobe and my prefrontal cortex are essentially fucking yelling at me to not do this, right? And I'm also ghosting, which is a bridge between the motor cortex and the prefrontal cortex, and it's all telling me, do not do this, but I know exactly what's happening. And that's why I'm attaching dopamine to errors, because I'm making a lot of mistakes, because right now acetylcholine and norepinephrine are being released en masse, right? I feel a heavy pressure on my forehead, and my brain is wondering, what is it? What can't we solve? What can't we solve? I have two options. Frustration because I can't solve it, right? I.e. cortisol or whatever the fucking associated chemical is, which shuts off my brain's response to trying to figure it out, or dopamine, right? Which attaches to the error, which is exactly what I'm doing, because I'm making a lot of mistakes, right? And that incites problem-solving mode, problem-solving mechanism, whatever the fuck you want to call it, error consolidation, error recognition, error reconciliation, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? And I'm not a scientist, I'm a bro scientist. But right now, like, it's beautiful. I'm constantly forcing myself to recall the proportions of the box, the diagonal cross-section, diagonal cross-section, diagonal cross-section, right? This is the center plane, and I'm forcing myself to see everything, right? And look at that. It took, how long has it been? I'm not going to check the time because that's going to break my focus, but I'm assuming it's been anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, right? And it's taken this long, and this sheer inertia that I've experienced in the beginning, and now I'm past it, and I'm in the zone, right? I didn't feel like drawing, and now I'm here, and I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, let's fucking go, right? So it's extremely difficult. I can still barely see the box, and that's exactly what I want, right? And I didn't even get it at the right angle, because now that I look at the portrait reference, it was incorrect. But now I'm going to rest my brain, right? We rest our brains after intense cognitive bout within our practice. Rest it for 20 seconds, utilize the micro gap effect, and then we go again, right? But I'm going to rest my brain, and I'm going to talk about something. I want to talk about a couple things, but we'll see if I'm able to, between fucking constantly being like, guys, I can't think, and then trying to actually talk about what I was intending to talk about. Very difficult to hold a completely different line of thought while vast majority of your brain energy is being utilized, and utilizing your astrocytic glycogen, which is the energy reserve of your brain when it comes to deep focus or, like, any sort of cognitive load, right? So trying to balance those multiple factors while trying to talk about a topic which I guess is pertinent, is relevant to what I want to talk about, is going to be very difficult. I.e., I don't know how the fuck I'm going to hold all this shit in my mind while I talk about something unrelated, right? Because holding all that shit in my mind is going to take up most of the things in my mind. Yeah, anyways, please rest your brain. Okay, so one thing I want to talk about is, again, to explain the merit of what I'm doing, not only to myself and utilizing neuroscience, of course, but to you as well. Because why have you spent 140 plus hours staring at a piece of paper, explaining, and not just explaining, but thinking about all these things, but not actually applying a mark, right? Well, to address that, like, it's already been solved, because, like, one major problem with that approach, not that the approach had a problem, but the consistency of that approach was the fact that I thought I was interleaving, but I wasn't, because I wasn't actually visualizing this box with the diagonal cross sections across different contexts, right? It was just this context, which is like the sphere inside of it. And that is something which I have rectified now. I have rectified now, but I've rectified now with the hands, the figure, and the challenge 52. And I'm actually going to be adding the artwod environment roadmap as well. Again, increase the context again, increase the space between practices, utilize the spacing effect, utilize actual interleaving, which is again context, right? What's the skill being practiced? Seeing the fucking box with the seeing the box, all 6 planes, visible and invisible, right? With all the diagonal cross sections, right? That's the skill. That is the spatial reasoning overall hierarchy of skill, or large hierarchical skill, hierarchical skills. I cannot fucking speak, right? But that is a large that is the primary skill. And then the context that's being switched is simply the object, the geometric or organic objects that are being placed inside that box and being spatially reasoned what's inside that box. The box is also changing sizes, right? But those other practices that is not this, the figure, fucking now environment, what's it called, hands, and challenge 52 are basically where I do something called attention split, and that's something we actively avoid here, right? So let me explain this properly. The purpose of this practice is depth, sheer cognitive depth, and building extremely robust spatial reasoning engine in my mind and increasing my mental capacity to do so, because there are multiple variables and multiple perspective layers to be reasoned, right? This is of course going to have a huge trickle-down effect in my ability to visualize, spatial reason, calculate, and see things, right? 100% without a fucking doubt. That's exactly what it's been doing. I know, like, I spent 130 hours or 142 hours, right, doing this without practicing anything else, and yet all my shit got better. Like, my imagination drawings got better, my understanding of space got better, because my understanding of space got better purely through thinking, right? So this practice session is pure depth, pure cognitive load, right? Like, and all my practices are cognitive load, but this is like sheer spatial reasoning, right? If I were to, and actually I had half a mind today to be like, shouldn't I introduce more like repetitions and do this a little bit faster? Not like the high speed lines that I do. See, okay. By the way, another mistake I just made. This is the box, right? This is the top of the plane, and literally, because I couldn't think properly, my hand and was ghosting because I was visualizing a box like this. Tell me if these two are the same, because they're fucking not, right? So that mistake, very normal to happen, to completely lose it without any realization, without even meaning to at all, right? And that's, again, the schema that I'm building, right? I'm building the ability to see. So this practice is sheer depth of spatial reasoning, pure prefrontal cortex, like literally pure prefrontal cortex. Obviously a little bit of parietal lobe, right? But the thing is, like, and very little motor application, because what the motor application does is it results in something called split attention, right? Where if I introduced, and I did way more reps, but with less technically what I thought was a little bit less depth, but it's actually a lot less depth, because then what happens is split attention occurs, right? And neuroscience is basically when your brain has to juggle multiple items at once, multiple different skills at once, right? Once the motor cortex is involved, then pen pressure sensitivity, line control, line weight, speed, hand-eye coordination, all these things are suddenly added onto the finite resource, which is my brain, which is astrocytic glycogen, which is my ability, which is what my brain is using as an energy resource to do what I'm doing right now, which is purely, again, I made that beautiful mistake again. I started the top plane like this, right? And then I fucking went this way for some reason, and I completely turned it. So again, like right now, this is basically me trying my absolute best to interleave. Like, I'm really trying to think about the box right now. I'm looking at this guy's head, right? I'm trying to figure out like where the perspective is and everything, right? This is the center line. And I'm getting better, and I'm trying to hold it. Again, I'm trying to talk while I'm holding it, which is extremely difficult. But now I'm trying to we need to like force ourselves to see the diagonal cross sections, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. So invisible, 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 visible. Okay, no, visible right around there, and then visible again, right, and then visible. There you go. This is a lot better. Now I'm actually holding this, right? Because I've ghosted it, and ghosting is again the bridge between the motor cortex and the prefrontal cortex. And I'm trying to hold this to the best of my ability, because I'm actually holding it now. Like, I actually do see the correct box, right? But that is the point of this practice. It's again, I start off the top plane like this, then I ghost the line down, accurate, and then you know what my hand does again? It brings it up this way. Incorrect. Absolutely incorrect. I turn the front plane into something like this, when it literally is just supposed to be this, right? Completely incorrect. And that's exactly what I need, right? I need to be incorrect in order to recognize, attach dopamine to errors, and then try again. Just keep fucking trying again and again and again, right? And that's all I encourage every single one of you to do, because if I can do it, you can do it, right? There's nothing that sets us apart. I'm telling you right now, there's literally nothing that sets us apart. The only difference between me and you is I have more reps, okay? I have more intentional repetitions. If you're, worse than me, if you're less skilled than me, right? I was gonna be like, is it impolite to say worse? But no, it's a fucking objective fact. If you're worse than me, then you're worse than me. I'm worse than fucking the hundreds and thousands and millions of artists, right? Like it's just what it is. Ego is not part of the equation. But anyways, I just lost the center plane. I just lost the box again. But again, the second I lose the box, I'm trying to bring it back. I'm trying to see all the invisible planes, the invisible sides. I'm trying to literally see everything. And again, oh, there you go. See this? I need to, dude. My hand will not. Even my hand fucking ghosting it will not actively ghost it, right? Because I guess this is a muscle memory, right? This is something I've intentionally done multiple times because I've been doing the bottom plane so much, right? So again, I'm really, and this is beautiful. This is such a good fucking This is such a good practice. This is such a good practice. But it also goes to show I've not done the top angle enough at all, right? So I'm gonna keep going. We're gonna keep practicing this. This is the invisible side, right? And then visible side, right? There you go. I'm finally fixing it now. My brain actively is resisting this plane that I've done correctly, but that doesn't matter because I know it's correct, right? So I obviously am trying to get the box visualized again, like the accurate sizing of the box. And again, just like while I tilted it, when I looked here and I looked back here, again, the top plane went from this, and then I looked on this side, right? I looked at this plane, like this plane here, just to double check that my visualization was correct. And then when I looked back here, it was like that. That was correct. It was like that, right? That is normal. So I'm gonna lean into it one more time. I'm gonna try to see the fucking box with all the diagonal cross sections, right? And this is normal. Like, these things happen, right? I'm in output regression, right? And my brain is still consolidating all this information and this schema. It's gonna take a very long time, but this is why I love learning, because once you internalize this will take forever, then forever is on your side. You just keep fucking going, because there's it's either you can say this to yourself. You don't know, and I say this to myself too. I don't know if I will achieve all my art goals, right? My skill goals, my ability goals. But what I do know is I'm never fucking stopping, right? Like, I do know I'm not gonna stop. I absolutely know I'm not gonna stop, right? Because if I stop, then I'm done. Then I've lost, right? Then there is a loss. Then is a failure on my end, because I have no longer given myself the opportunity to continue, to persist, to persevere, to think about multiple factors that constantly tax my working memory, such as the box, right? This box and each invisible plane, right? I'm not gonna go so fast. I'm ghosting too fast. Such as, right, this box, right? This box, this invisible XYZ, and then this visible XYZ, right? And then the diagonal cross sections, like such. The diagonal cross sections, that's a visible, invisible, visible right there, invisible right there. And then to give myself the opportunity, and again, it just immediately, the box shifted, but to give myself the opportunity to notice that, feel good about that, bring it back, and then again, through an output regression where I'm trying to think a lot, but my working memory is taxed, and all my brain's what's it called, glycogen reserves, the energy reserves have been completely used, but to lean into this feeling of sheer discomfort and just try to visualize and calculate something that doesn't exist, right? And then take a step back. So if I didn't continue, I would not have given myself the opportunity to do that just now, right? What I need to give myself the opportunity to do is actually fucking speak properly. But I hope you can tell, like, again, my speech gets fucked and slurred constantly when I think. Like when I tax my working memory, when I tax my brain, when I think a lot, right? When I'm practicing and I'm intently focusing and I'm, deep work. This is deep work, right? Why does that happen? Because my brain is like, fuck your speech, take all the energy reserves and anything involving speaking any of that shit and put it straight towards visualization and calculation, because this guy's clearly trying to do that shit instead. Right? Again, very, very, very layman's explanation of it, very gay man's explanation of it. I make the same, this is like the fucking 20th time I made this joke. I can't even speak. 20th time I have made this joke, right? You did not come to this channel for clear articulation, well cadenced speech, right? A prose beyond what even Shakespeare could accomplish. It's like this, yeah, rock on. But no, it's like rock on like this. But yeah, you didn't come here for that. So anyways, please rest your brain. Okay, cool. Oh wow, it's only been 20 minutes. That's fucking amazing, bro. Holy shit, that felt like an eon because of how difficult it was. Wonderful. But let me like finish up what else. Okay, so now you know why the depth of this practice exists as it does. Another thing I'm gonna be doing apart, because right now, as you can see from this especially, right? Like, but like I am already holding all these factors in my mind. Like holding this entire schema in my mind is a goddamn Goliath of a mental task, right? Objectively speaking, it's just extremely difficult, right? And right now, hold up, I'm not even able to calculate this box correctly, right? And actually, I think I'm making this too large, but yeah, there you go, that's better. But I'm incapable of calculating this box correctly, right? But see, the box is tilted against. That's something I like, and I got silent because I literally went from, again, seeing the top plane like this, right? To then while I was calculating, like I calculated this, that was fine. I calculated this, that was fine. I calculated this. The second I calculated this, and I was like, okay, how does it connect? When I looked back here, the top plane was like this, right? Completely inaccurate. So again, beautiful error, right? Beautiful mistake. So we're gonna do that again, right? We're gonna do that again, and we're gonna force our brain to hold everything in our mind properly. And again, this box is fucked, bro. Like this box is actually beautifully fucked in the sense that like it's just not working out, man. It's just not working out. But basically, what I'm trying to say is like at the tail end of my practice, where I'm essentially trying to hold this entire fuck schema with the box, the invisible diagonal cross sections, the center planes intersecting inside the box, the ellipses inside the center planes, and the sphere wrapping around or like encompassing those center planes or those ellipses inside the center planes, right, to create the perfect circle, right? While I'm envisioning all of that, I'm now going to, instead of trying to get the like for like, line, likeness, all that shit of the reference photo, I'm simply going to translate them into their, I'm simply going to translate them into their simple forms. Yeah, their simple forms. So instead of the nose being this monstrosity, right, the nose is just going to be this. Okay? That's what the nose is going to be. And this is going, and same with the lips. The lips are going to be something along the lines of, let's see, what the fuck did Antonio do? Because I'm trying to think what Antonio, how he said they were at, like in the artwod lesson, right? The lips are gonna be something like that, right? And I'm gonna be thinking about them in terms of their forms, right? Like these are tapered cylinders. These are like tapered cylinders that basically, if I were to do it from a different perspective, it'd be something like this. Right, like that is basically the lip. Like you go from a cylinder, right, and then you taper it. So you do something like this on both ends, and then you like you inflate it and deflate it. Fucking, I'm not gonna explain this shit. Go to artwod, they'll explain the concept better. But that's basically the lips, right? But that's what I'm gonna do, and then the jaw will literally just be where else can I draw without bastardizing this? The jaw will just be a tapered box as per the Loomis method, right? But the Loomis gives you template, so what the whole point of this is to like follow the template, but also give myself the context of the faces that I'm actually referring it to. Some shit like that. I still have a lot of trouble with understanding that jaw. But anyways, the whole point right now is just intense spatial reasoning depth. So again, I'm trying to imagine the top of the plane and I'm connecting it this X, Z, Y, right? And already like the width of the front plane, it keeps getting smaller every time I look back here. So again, I'm trying to zoom out, see the entire thing, right? And then trying to get let me actually make this top plane larger. And again, you see how my hand went this way instead of this way? Such a incredibly, it's just what I don't want. It's an error, right? It's not a bad habit because a habit is something I've reinforced over hundreds and thousands of repetitions, right? And that's much harder. And still, it's all an error, right? Like, and you can undo a habit just by cataloging it as an error because this is all cataloging, right? So that's basically the gist of what I'm trying to do as an aside for this practice session, or like for this specifically, this portrait practice. Oh, again. Okay, so I'm gonna fix it. Again, the fucking top plane just shifted completely. I went to this again, so I'm fixing that right now. Right, let me do that again. We need to reinforce to ourselves that is... Dude, it's insane. I'll do this, and the second I go back, it's already tilted like this. Like, I'll literally ghost this, but then when I come back here, it's already in my mind like that. That's insane. So that is clearly something that I can 100% continue to work on. So... Again, ghosting it, trying to visualize the entire box. Okay, now it's staying, And okay, there you go. Because I'm again being cognizant. I'm putting a lot of effort, and again, but now when I go this way, I did that again. But I'm trying to be as cognizant as possible, right? I'm trying to focus as much as possible, trying to attach as much dopamine as possible to the fact that I'm making all these mistakes. And now, there you go. And it's still not perfect, but that is a lot better. And now I'm trying to visualize every single diagonal cross section. Visible, invisible, invisible, visible, right? Trying to keep the tilt of because the biggest thing I'm struggling with right now is keeping the tilt of the box the same, like consistent. Like I'm trying to keep this tilt of the top plate as it is, right? Like this box as it is, and not lose it while calculating the entire diagonal cross section. And now I'm doing it. Now I'm actually doing it, and I'm really trying to zoom out and still consistently think about the bottom plane looking the way it is, right? After this session, I'll probably, I think this session especially, actually, like, fuck waiting, bro. Right now, we're gonna try to lean into it, and then I'm gonna try to calculate the diagonal cross section. Calculate the center plane. So I'm really trying to think about the diagonal cross sections right now. This back one, this back one. I'm losing it constantly, by the way. Like when I say I'm trying to think about it, what I'm trying to say is like I see like fucking 20-30% max. Like fucking best day, 20 to 30%, right? But it's trying to be aware. Like I feel an intense pressure in my brain, in my forehead, right? Like on the fucking, if this is my forehead, that's the pressure. That's the pressure right there. And if this is my brain, this is the fucking pressure. So it's all goddamn it. Like, it's beautiful, and it's absolutely a good thing, because without this, there's no learning. Again, friction is fruition. Oh, that's pretty good. Friction means that when you experience friction, that means it comes to life. You come on life, all right? So, yeah, anyways, let's see. Trying to think about it, man. Don't want to talk about it. Don't want to think about it. Except I have to think about it, so shut up, JT. Do the fuck off, bro. Alright, this guy's always bothering me, man. I get it. You want to learn how to draw, but seriously, holy shit. Right? And again, I'm trying to make sure the cube itself is accurate. Like, I'm genuinely trying to make sure the cube proportions are being visualized accurately. Okay, now I'm trying to hold this because I just about see the diagonal cross. I just about see the box with all 6 planes visible. The top plane is already fucking spazzing out and like diverging in multiple locations, in multiple ways. That's an error. I'm trying to hold this to the best of my ability, and then I'm trying to, and now I'm attempting to calculate the diagonal cross sections, right? Trying to attempt to calculate the diagonal cross section, hold the tilt of the box accurately. Visible, invisible, invisible bottom, hold up, yeah, visible top. I don't know why my voice got so deep there. Hold up, well, but no. But anyways, what is a guru? Anyways, this is yeah, that's a TFS reference. Team 4-star, fucking Namek Saga, right? Frieza arc, whatever the fuck. But trying to hold that, and now I'm just fucking pushing the absolute confines. You'll notice, so like I saw it a lot better here, and here, right? Because I'm used to these angles. I'm not used to this angle. I'm not used to a box that is tilted from the top down, right? So in this particular angle, so I'm trying to hold all this in my mind, and now I'm trying to hold and see all the diagonal cross sections, right? And now I am trying to, I'm actively making an effort to visualize the center planes, right? And that is immensely, and I'm trying to like hold them all at the same time. I don't know why I say hold, like I don't know why I fucking say every H with like a fucking dick sucking, right? But either way, I'm trying to hold it all in my mind at the same time and get the diagonal cross sections. Oh, but bro, like this is fucking insane. Like this is so like my brain's actually in sheer output regression. Everything just went to shit. But just for one last moment, right? Just for the last fucking stretch, like the last 20 seconds or whatever the fuck this is, try to hold it all together. I'm not even gonna ghost anymore. Fuck the pen, you see? I'm making a statement. But I'm just trying to see this box in this angle, right? And I'm trying to see all, and okay, so I'm trying to see the box. I'm trying to make the proportions accurate to a cube in perspective. Now I'm trying to see through the box, right? Get all the invisible planes there. And now I'm trying to see the diagonal cross sections. I'm losing all of it, by the way. But I'm trying to see it on every single invisible and visible plane. And now I'm trying to see and calculate. When I say see, I mean calculate and visualize. Calculate and visualize. That's a combination of what I'm trying to do, right? And that's extremely cognitively taxing. And I'm trying to calculate and visualize. And I'm making so many mistakes because the box keeps tilting. But I'm trying to calculate and visualize the 3 center planes. The horizontal one, right? The horizontal one. This vertical one, right around here. This vertical one. And then the other vertical one this way, right? And these have to go through the diagonal cross sections, and I'm trying to hold that. I'm trying to hold that to the best of my ability, and I can't even fucking conceptualize holding all three of them together, let alone the box again or anymore. But that was incredibly difficult. Oh, that was amazing. Okay, I'm gonna rest my brain. I encourage you to do so as well. But yeah, this is the depth. I will get to what I was gonna fucking talk about, or maybe I won't. But, and so if you're wondering, like, okay, but how does the other practice go? He said that's like a faster version. Yeah, the other practice, that's where split attention is actually being utilized, because my attention is split across three variables, which is hand-eye coordination, i.e. zooming out. Like I'm trying to zoom, I'm trying to literally expand my field of vision while applying the line. I'm specifically not looking at the line while I'm applying it in order to train my ability to make a mark without having to actively focus on the mark. Incredibly difficult. That's one part of it. That's one attention that's split. Second one, visualizing the box, and like still visualizing the box and the diagonal cross sections, but this time applying the mark at 20 to 30% speed faster than I'm used to, right? So my attention is split across those two factors. And then the third factor is the topic itself, the interleaving, the new context of this overall skill of spatial reasoning, that is the forms that are inside that box, whether it be a figure mannequin, whether it be a hand mannequin, whether it be a fucking box for challenge 52, right? And now, like coming this week, right? Whether it be the whatever shapes that I'm taught to like manipulate in the artwod environment roadmap, and like how that's laid out. So yeah, that's the whole thing. We have a fast gear, we have a slow gear. This is the slow gear. This is the depth. Fast gear is still training depth, but it's splitting my attention from across depth, speed, and hand-eye coordination, right? So, you know, hopefully that helps. And if you're wondering why the fuck does this guy talk so technical about, it's just art, man. It's just art. No, it's a fucking skill that requires a shit ton of cognitive effort to learn. And I'm never gonna do a disservice to the difficulty and the sheer effort required for the skill to be proficient in, right? Like how the sheer effort required to be proficient in the skill, right? The hundreds and thousands of intentional repetitions and conscious effort it takes for literally years to be mediocre. To be fucking mediocre, okay? And if you don't find this to be mediocre, that's okay. That just means our standards are different, and the more you do, the more your standards will improve. So you always want your eye to be better, right? So yeah, like I'm never going to undermine the effort it takes to be fucking shit at art, which is still thousands of repetitions, right? Let alone decent, which is minimum 5 to 10 years, if not more, right? But of course, I'm going by my metrics, which is 1 hour a day, 5 days a week. Like that's my timeline, right? If you do 2 hours a day, 6 days a week, right, on average, right, then this is not 3 years and 9 months worth of effort, right? Granted, let's say we're both just fucking putting in a shit ton of effort, the same, purely focusing on fundamentals of spatial reasoning. Like you're basically doing what I'm doing, which is min-maxing the ROI of art and draftsmanship, which is spatial reasoning and then line, right? And like understanding form and all that shit. If we're doing the exact same thing, right? Let's just say you're training, because it's a skill. You're training exactly like me, but you literally just have 1 extra hour every day and an extra day, then fucking of course this will not be 3 years and 9 months of output, like reflected output, but perhaps 2 years and 3 months or some shit, right? Or 2 years and 6 months, I think. 2 years and 4 months, something like that. But yeah, like effort, the one variable every single one of us can control and consistently get better at controlling, because that too is a skill, is exerting effort. So please rest your brain. I believe in you. Okay, cool. And then we continue again. Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, so I know like Broken Draw gave me a shout out, and again, all respects to him, but I assume that vast majority of the people who have essentially discovered me through his little his shout out, which again I appreciate a lot, I know that 99% of you will fuck off, because the reality that this channel is a delayed gratification long-term channel based on consistent effort, resilience, and continuing to continue over years and years and years on foundational skills which are extremely difficult to build is not glorious, nor is it sexy, nor am I sexy or glorious, right? Right, for doing it. So but anyways, I think I was trying to make a joke, but I don't even remember where it went. But I know that. So like, I know vast majority of you fuck off. But all I care about is the one person who has perhaps taken into account. And again, like now I'm going to start actually drawing the box, right? Because then we're going to start visualizing everything inside the box. What we're doing by drawing the box is we're removing the cognitive load of visualizing the outer layers of the box, right? That is what we are removing. And while I'm drawing the box, I'm still trying to think as much as I can about the diagonal cross sections, right? And can I do it? Can I do it while applying? Most likely not, right? It is an extremely difficult skill, but am I trying to do it? Yes, I am absolutely trying to do it, right? And it is, see, like my lines are fucking up too because I'm also trying to zoom out while I do this, and it is an extremely difficult skill to build, right? Let's see. And of course, I'm trying to make sure that this cube in and of itself, and you'll see my lines are going to suffer here, but I am trying to make sure that my cube in and of itself is also and I could not think about the diagonal cross section, I'll be completely honest. Yeah, but I am trying to make sure that my cube in and of itself is at least as quote unquote of a perfect cube as I can get. Right? And I am doing a little bit of convergence. This is a bit more of a, this is not like a drastic convergence, but it's definitely a noticeable convergence, right? And yeah, I can't think about any of the diagonal cross sections, but I'm trying. Am I succeeding? No, I'm not. No, in no fucking universe am I actually succeeding whatsoever, right? But I'm definitely, and I mean definitely, trying to succeed to any modicum, right? And now, like, I'm really trying to think. And now, it's funny, now that the box is complete, I'm like, oh yeah, I can see through the box and the diagonal cross sections. Fuck off, bro. You know how hard it is to do it while applying? And look, I didn't even converge this correctly. I made an error, a beautiful error, which I'm attaching dopamine to, that I could not see this convergence properly. That is an objective mistake, right? Which is good. But yeah, like all I care about is the one person who looks at this and says, holy shit, I want to body double with this guy. I want to give him retention. I will mute his ass. Let's fucking go. I just want one person. All I care about is like the straggler, the one every so often one person who's like, shit, dude, like, fuck yeah, like let's actually put in the effort, because yeah, we are capable of putting in the effort. And what better avenue to put in the effort than through this channel? Right? But anyways, okay, so I drew the box. Now immediately onwards to just visualizing everything, the diagonal cross section, everything, right? Diagonal cross section, all of that shit, right? Seeing this Y, Z, X, trying to see it, seeing the diagonal cross section immediately, dude, it's hilarious. So clearly I struggle with visualizing the box with all of its planes, right, and the diagonal cross sections at this angle. But the second these three visible planes have been removed from my brain in terms of cognitive load, I can literally already see every single diagonal visualize every single diagonal cross section, bless me, and the horizontal center plane, right, going through the diagonal cross section, right? That is insane. So there you go. That's how you know the schema's gone better as well, because before I couldn't even fucking visualize a diagonal cross section or a center plane while visualizing the diagonal cross section. Say fucking diagonal cross section one more time, bro. God damn it. I'm sure you guys are getting tired of hearing it, which is why I say mute my ass, right? Please give me retention, right? But again, like, this shit won't matter until it does, right? The man will not be seen as a master. It is only in retrospect, and in retrospect, everything will be contextualized through effort and his words, right? I'm giving myself, I'm talking about myself in third person. I'm giving myself a nice little narrative, right? So, hero's journey, right? Ohana means hero's journey. Anyways, I'm trying to think. Okay, so I'm seeing the diagonal cross sections right now, and now immediately I'm trying to think about this horizontal center plane, and now while I'm trying to hold that while also thinking about every single diagonal cross section on the visible and invisible plane, I'm trying to think about this center plane as well. And again, it has to go through the center point. Don't forget the center plane, this line, right? If this is, let's say, the bottom or top plane, right? In this context, right? We have this diagonal, we have this diagonal. That is a center point. The plane must go through that. Every single thing that the plane goes through must be the center point, right? It must be the center point of the overall box, which is the diagonal cross section, right? It has to be. There's literally no way around it, you know? Like, I fucked that up, but it has to be the center point. That's where it has to go through, right? So that's exactly what I'm thinking about here while I do this. Like, that's exactly, and it is extremely cognitively taxing. And again, the friction is what I constantly try to chase. So that actually segues perfectly into the next thing I want to talk about. So I'm part of the Broken Draw school community, right? Fucking amazing community. Literally because of them, I've been even more consistent. I'm drawing every fucking day, right? I've gone from drawing 5 days a week for 1 hour to drawing 7 days a week, right? With an additional half an hour 7 days a week, because 30 to 35 minutes, sometimes 40 minutes, because if you'll see on my posts tab that I've finally started to do the thing that I want to do for a very long time, which is object deconstruction into simple forms, or into like a form breakdown. Like, I'm trying to understand the forms, right? And again, while I'm talking about this random shit, it's a skill to talk, and it's extremely difficult to talk about something random while also spatially reasoning a fucking diagonal cross section on every single visible and invisible plane, while also trying to think about the center plane as well, right? But I am doing that now. When I talk about what I'm thinking about, it's easier to obviously think about that thing. But when I'm not talking about anything that isn't what I'm thinking about, immediately it's much harder. And like, I actually think I've lost this vertical center plane right here. So this is roughly where it is. Yeah, it's right around there. Right? And even the lines will like diverge and converge randomly, right? But anyways, I'm really trying to think about the 3 center planes and how they intersect right now. And I am seeing it a lot better. I'm definitely seeing it a lot better, right? In my mind and on the page. It's mainly on the page, like, not really in my mind. And you might be wondering, how the fuck did you even see this on the page? What the fuck do I always say? What do you think the answer is? Hundreds and hundreds of hours, thousands and thousands of repetitions to train myself to be able to calculate and visualize, or to visualize my calculations on the page. What the fuck else did you think the answer was? Did you think it was like, oh, I actually didn't think and I didn't practice and I didn't spend hundreds of intentional hours on this? No, that's just something I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna look at it, it's gonna appear on the page now, right? You think I'm a fucking retard? The answer is yes, which is why it took me that long, right? So anyways, back to visualizing through the box, diagonal cross sections, right? And let's see, diagonal cross sections. And yeah, like, I'm really struggling right now. I'm definitely in output regression, which is, again, when you're trying a lot and you're trying to achieve and do as much as you can, but your visual output, your objective output is much worse. Like, your actual, like, physical output. Yeah, I guess you could say. In my case, it's a fucking mental output, but it's still physical in the sense that the sensation of what I'm seeing, right? It's so ephemeral, right? Ethereal? Amorphous? I don't fucking know. But either way, I'm trying to see the center plane, and the biggest center plane I'm struggling with right now is, this is a huge improvement too, is like the fact that I can see all the diagonal cross sections, see this horizontal center plane, right? Hold it, and then see this vertical center plane, hold that, and then just try to start reasoning this vertical center plane. That is and the thing is, like, I'm at a point now where, like, I can't reason all 3. I can only reason 2 of them, but it's insane. This is how I know interleaving works. Like, that I'm only reasoning 2 center planes while visualizing through the box and trying to see every single diagonal and calculating every single diagonal cross section. That is insane. But let me finish what I was saying. Right, yeah, like, I'm in Broken Draw school community. I just started jerking off that community. But I'm in that school community, it's amazing. But one thing I noticed, because he does, like, every Sunday, he does, like, this weekly call, talk about, like, you know, our art wins, what we're struggling with, like, what our goals are, right? Like, just, like, and also, like, we share resources. He's still trying to figure out the format of it, right? And again, while I'm talking, I'm thinking a lot, right? But one thing that everybody seems to struggle with, right? I saw two things actually, 2 factors constantly. Even Roger Goethems, I don't know if I'm doxing him, but amazing artist, search him up on Instagram, fucking amazing artist, shits all over me, right? So this isn't me being like, oh, somebody who's worse than me. Not that it matters, right? Because whether you're worse or better, everybody has struggles, right? But I don't know. I don't know why I'm trying to cover my ass. Go fuck yourself. You can fucking think whatever you want. Right? I have to, like, now that I'm on the internet, I have to be like, oh, what if people think this? What if people think that? Answers, I don't give an absolute shite until I do, because I need money. But until then, I don't, because I don't need money. Because I do need money. I can't even fucking lie about that. Please, 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 please listen to what I'm saying and stop looking at me ghosting the line, right? That's what I should be telling my brain. But you see, like, it's all nonsensical because I can't think because I'm so fucking fatigued mentally. So that's actually a great segue into not talking about what I was going to talk about and resting my brain and then continuing onwards, because goddamn, that was taxing. But yeah, next session or next bout, next intensive cognitive bout is going to be purely just focusing on trying to visualize those 3 center planes. And then because it's already been 45 minutes, we're going to try to get into the next what's it called, layer of perspective, which is the ellipses inside, right? The ellipses inside those planes. So beautiful friction, always beautiful friction. And that's exactly what we want, is just fucking beautiful, intensive cognitive friction. And making so many mistakes we coom. Anyways, please rest your brain. All right, well, that was really good. Yeah, I think this is an okay box. Definitely it has issues, but overall, my cubes are decent. I think I don't think they definitely have always like hundreds of fucking thousands of rooms for improvement, but it's just okay because I am okay. Om Kapoor. Anybody watch Om Shanti Om? It's a fucking completely random segue. Of course, that only probably 1% will understand, right? But anyways, back to thinking, right? Back to thinking, and I'm actively, like, while I'm talking about this completely unrelated thing, which is a very difficult skill to do, talking while thinking and drawing in of itself is very difficult to do, right? But just know that, like, I am actively going to be thinking about the seen through box, the diagonal cross sections on every single visible, diagonal cross sections on every single visible and invisible plane, right? And then the center planes, right? The horizontal center plane that goes through those center points, right? And the vertical center plane that goes through those center points of the diagonal cross sections. Let me do it with the finger is not doing it justice. But yeah, the vertical, this one right here, and then the other vertical, right, which is right around here. And it's like, it's not going to be fucking 100% perfect, but the thing is, trying to constantly understand whether it is accurate or not, or quote unquote perfect or not, will make you just more and more consistently directionally correct in terms of believability, and that is derived from trying to achieve this arbitrary perfection, if that makes sense, right? I.e., we try to be perfect so our shit can be more believable, right? Perfection is purely an ideal, right? A goal / ideal, however you want to interchange those words, just on the basis of being able to output more accurately, right, and more believably. Believably? That's the word, yeah, believably, right? Believably. But anyways, just know that, like, I'm thinking about all that shit, right? So, with that being said, right, let me try to do the extremely difficult thing about thinking about all that shit while also talking about, dude, I just fucking, like, my vision just blurred because I was like, what the fuck, is this a box? Is this real? What's going on? I couldn't even fucking fathom what the hell I was seeing. But anyways, yeah, while I'm trying to do all that, let me just say the thing I was going to say, which is 2 themes I noticed. One is that even, Roger Goetz, like, even he mentioned, like, he struggles with being outside of his comfort zone, right? He struggled, like, and Tyrion's like, oh yeah, we all struggle with that, like, I'm sure we all do. And then other things people said was, like, consistency, discipline, just trying to, like, show up, if not every day, at least, like, as many days as possible, right? Within the week. And at the end of it, he asked if anybody had any tips to give. And I specifically, like, people were giving tips and I'm like, I have one to give. I always feel bad. I'm not bad, but I always feel a bit uncomfortable. Like, this is my level of comfort, is like, I know that I put in enough work to have a little bit of authority, or just like a little bit of backing behind what I say. But at the same time, right, Because like even Tyrion, like when I was talking about the form shit I was doing, he's like, yeah, this is insane, you're killing it, right? I don't know if he said you're killing it, but he's like, yeah, that's awesome, bro. Like you're like this is like he literally thought my form breakdowns were a fucking he thought it was like what's it called, based off like a simulation or something. He thought it was like he thought it was like a rendering or something like that. I don't know what he said. He thought it was like he didn't know they were all like there was like one from reference and another from imagination, right? Like he thought that I was just doing them from reference or some shit, or like oh no, yeah, that I had a simulation or like a fucking, you know, like a sketchfab or something, or like a skull simulation or something like that, like a model. He thought it was a model. He thought I was basing it off of model, right? But I was like, no, like it's from reference, and then I fucking drew my best to goddamn calculate out the dozens of things while rotating in my mind from imagination. That's what the other repetitions are. He's like, holy fuck, oh okay, that's crazy. That's even more crazy, right? This is an aside, just to toot my own fucking horn, right? Just to fucking just to gluck my own buck. That doesn't really work, but anyways, gluck my buck. Actually, that's not bad. Even if it doesn't work, it is catchy to my ear, so that's all that matters. But anyways, constantly visualizing, constantly calculating, right? I know I'm all over the place, but I'm just trying to articulate what I'm doing and articulate where the fuck I'm going with what I'm saying, right? But either way, right, one thing those two themes I noticed, which is consistency and being outside of your comfort zone. And I just realized, and the thing I said at the end was like, guys, just like if there's one thing I can give you is to focus on the effort. Maybe I'm taking this all over the place, but that's what I said, right? And I feel as if it didn't resonate with anybody, because Tyrion was like, yeah, it seems like that's the common theme, right? But it didn't really seem like anybody resonated with that. So, and that's okay, because not everything resonates with everybody, but it made me think about the fact that very few people seem, like even artists, like it seems very few people in the beginning, because a few people there, a decent amount there were beginners, right, seem to think about everything as a skill, right? Like artists will, yeah, be like, yeah, draftsmanship, or artists that have a good head on their shoulders, right? Or like have an understanding based on their own experience, right? I would assume, this was maybe fucking an assumption, but I would assume artists know that, yeah, like everything that they're doing is a skill. Like everything that they're practicing is a fucking skill, right? But, and again, my thought process here might be very very disoriented, because I'm literally trying to fucking calculate 3 goddamn layers of perspective while I'm talking about this shit, right? But what I'm trying to say is, and I'm fucking struggling, bro. God damn it, I'm struggling to see right now. I'm struggling to think right now. But what I'm trying to say is that, and the only reason my speech is stilted is because I'm literally trying to see all 3 plane intersections while I'm talking, and I'm trying to get literally two completely parallel lines of thought in order. This one containing this many fucking calculations, dozens, and this one just containing a goddamn coherent story, unrelated to anything going on here, right? Extremely fucking difficult, right? But it's a skill. See, that's a skill. That's an extremely difficult skill. I've been practicing that skill for 250 hours now. No, like recorded 421 hours I've been practicing that skill. 422 hours now, actually, right? I've been practicing that skill. Like, what does that say, right? It takes a fuck ton of time, but completely that's besides the point. But what I'm trying to say is I've realized that I have trained myself to seek and see discomfort as, like, that is the goal for me, right? Like, the discomfort I'm feeling right now, and the many errors I'm attaching to it, like that is the goal. And by the way, like while I'm doing this, fuck it, we're just gonna start seeing the ellipse as well, right? Why the fuck not? We're gonna start calculating the ellipses inside of it. And this ellipse is probably incorrect, but this is how we start, right? This is how we get our bearings, is by just trying to do what we can't do, right? So I'm trying to see those 2 ellipses, and then I'm trying to see this one as well, right? And that's actually a pretty good ellipse right there. That's a bit too wide, but this vertical center plane that's facing this way, right? Facing, fucking Jesus Christ, man, this pen facing this way, right? This, I'm trying to get this ellipse in there as well. And while I'm doing this, I'm really trying to hold the center planes as well. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, and this is what I want to talk about, is that everything is a skill, right? I have trained myself, like I realized like, oh shit, I've come to the point where I've trained myself to the point where I cannot relate with things that Tyrion says that everybody could probably relate to this, which is that we all like staying inside our comfort zone, right? Or like, oh, everybody has trouble pushing themselves outside their comfort zone. I do agree that I relate in the sense, like I do relate with that sentence, like, yeah, I have difficulty pushing outside of my comfort zone, but I don't relate in the sense that I actively avoid being uncomfortable, right? Like those are two separate things. I struggle, like I'm struggling right now to push myself outside of my comfort zone, but I am actively leaning into trying to being outside of my comfort zone and to push my cognitive friction and my working memory to the absolute fucking confines of which it is capable, utilizing the resources that it has available, which is astrocytic glycogen, the energy resource that our brain uses, right? During deep cognitive work, right? So, or any sort of skill learning endeavor. It doesn't just have to be cognitive, but any sort of skill learning endeavor requires a certain amount of, a genuine, not even a certain amount, a threshold, a high amount of focus and attention, right? Norepinephrine, acetylcholine, right? But, and I'm like actively losing the fucking perspective multiple times while I'm talking about this, right? But, fuck, let me rest my brain, bro. I can, dude, I am all over the place. Oh, it's been 55 minutes. Oh no. Okay, I will try to finish this line of thought after I rest my brain. I encourage you to do the same. But, I guess like, okay, what I can leave it off of, maybe I can finish it right now that I'm like technically just taking a step back from the extreme friction, right? Which is, everything is a trainable skill. When I realized that he said everybody has trouble pushing themselves outside of it, I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. I was like, damn, I'm actually at a point now where after 1,000 plus hours of practice, roughly, I think roughly it's been 1,000 hours of practice, right? I actually misattributed. If any earlier videos of mine, if anybody hears me say that I practiced for 1,000 hours, I think I didn't. I hadn't at that point. Like, then that was like anywhere from 3 to 6 months ago, right? I think now I'm at close to the 1,000 hour mark, right? But either way, like I'm close to 1,000, if not like just past that amount, right? But I was like, it's taken me 3 years and 9 months, 1,000 hours of practice, intentional practice towards constantly pushing myself outside of my comfort zone to not relate to the fact that people have trouble pushing themselves outside of their comfort zone, right? Or actively people avoid their comfort zone. Sorry, because like no, I also have trouble pushing myself outside of the comfort zone, but I don't actively avoid it. In fact, I feel off if when I'm drawing, I am not uncomfortable. If I'm not trying something new, if every drawing that I do, I am not actively uncomfortable or doing something that I'm not used to, I'm not thinking, I'm not problem solving, I'm not constantly trying to push myself, I genuinely I've come to the point where I've trained myself, but that is uncomfortable, right? That doesn't mean that I have trouble context switching, right? So if there's a drawing session where I'm like, I'm just gonna fuck around, then yeah, like I will literally not care, right? And I'll draw something that looks like ass because I know that, or that I will consider to be looking like ass because I know that I'm not trying to push myself. But any drawing session, which is literally fucking 95% of my drawing sessions, where I'm like, I'm here to learn, I'm here to practice. Like I consider it to be practice, not doodling or an intuitive application, right? An intuitive stream of thought of the skills that I have built over in hundreds and thousands of intentional hours, right? But something that I'm just considering to be practice, like so apart from that, like if I'm practicing, I'm like, okay, let's practice. I feel uncomfortable if I'm not pushing myself past my comfort zone. So what I want to say is like, it's all trainable. That's literally the point I was trying to make, is like, this goes to show that everything is fucking trainable, down to how you perceive practice and how you feel when you practice over hundreds and thousands of repetitions, right? It's all a skill. It's skills all the way fucking down. Anything in your mind that you think is a talent, if you're willing to put the fucking work in and the effort in, it's not a talent, it's a skill, right? But if you're not willing to put the effort and the work in, then yeah, it's easier to offset it as a talent in your mind, I'm sure. I don't do that because I completely disagree with that notion. Everything is anything anybody is good at, like genuinely good at, they've worked hard at, right? And if they haven't, then they have a fucking duty to themselves, right? In my opinion, they should have a duty to themselves to be fucking good at that thing. But even if somebody's naturally good at something, I can guarantee they cannot compete with someone who's put in fucking 100 times more work on them intentionally on their foundations, right? It's just not happening. And again, if there is an outlier like that, then great, that person has the capability to push themselves even further, and it still doesn't disregard or demean the other individual's effort and experience, because they 100% have 10 times more context than still that beginner with much higher capabilities does, right? This is me like trying to fucking tiptoe the line to make all the fucking dipshits who jerk off of our talent to be like, but don't worry, I believe in your talent, I believe in it. Right, shut the fuck up. I genuinely don't give a fuck about any of your any notion around talent. I think it's all sheer intentional volume and repetition over years and years and years and years and years on foundational skills that constantly build a fucking concrete pillar of ability, right? In terms of like the basics, right? Like that what I said right there prior was me being like, okay, like, you know, I'll play nice about it, but genuinely, it's all fucking skills. It's all fucking skills, and the sooner you internalize that, the better, right? But the point I was trying to make is, if I can do it, You can do it. If me, who was anxious for 8 months straight, putting down a fucking line because it was in ink, and he was like fucking literally had headaches because it was so hard to see one line on the page going from one point to another for months, for hundreds of hours. Think about that, for months. Do it once. Go through that extreme friction once. Now do it 400 more times, right? And that 400 more times is a real life. It's a day, it's another day, it's another day, and then it's 100 days, and then it turns out it's like 6 months. But when you're 3 days in, that 6 months is not taken into context. It's just every day is the day, right? So if I can do it, you can do it without a fucking doubt, because I'm average to below average, right? And if I'm average to below average, and I achieve this in 3 years and 9 months of sheer intentional volume, then you can do it without a fucking doubt, right? But that's what I was trying to say. Everything is trainable, even things like consistency, everything. It's all trainable, and it's all based on effort. But let me rest my fucking brain. I clearly fucking rambled my way through the time, but I'm so passionate about making sure people believe in themselves. So please rest your brain. But yeah, it's just that one person. I just need one person to genuinely believe in themselves, right? One straggler every fucking 3 months or whatever to be like, yeah, I can fucking do the volume. Look at again, everything is documented since fucking day one on my channel. Everything. I started with line. I started with a fucking line, okay? Don't look at that line. That's because of the brush pen. And now I'm doing this, right? Which I don't think to be anything incredible or whatever, but the point is, and now I'm doing this, right? And it all started with one line. So, and now we are essentially tens of thousands of lines in, right? But either way, back to fucking thinking about but the point I was trying to make as well is the fact that, like, I was like, damn, so it's all the same shit. Everybody just struggles with pushing themselves outside of their comfort zone, right? Bless me, Jesus. Everybody struggles with pushing themselves outside of their comfort zone, as well as being consistent, right? And even Tyrion was like, oh yeah, I'm so much more, he was like, it's awesome. And that's why I love the community, because, like, everybody sees me as not everybody, but like my fans have seen me as a pretty consistent guy, right? And I've gotten comments being like, dude, you're fucking like the gym bro of artists, like, oh, you're so consistent, that's crazy. Even Tyrion thinks my consistency is crazy. But that community has made me even more consistent, right? Me, the god of all people, me, the fucking god, the goddamn, the fucking, the messiah of the art community. Even I can be even more consistent, right? But either way, let's see. Okay, so I have starting to figure out what this ellipse looks like, and it's completely not what I thought it would look like, because I'm starting to think about because I'm also, like, when I'm thinking about these planes, I'm thinking about these ellipses, I'm thinking about them in terms of this, like this front plane right here, right? I'm not just thinking like, oh, okay, like it's just a plane. I'm thinking, no, like I am literally cutting it in half. That's not the center. And then I'm making the perfect, like the curves, like the even curves going around it. Or like the connecting each half, right? It's very difficult to figure out, because at the end of the day, only sheer trial and error and volume, right? Trial and error via hundreds and thousands. And again, like, where do you even get that center? So you get the center like this, and then you have that, right? That's the center. I already fucked that up, but whatever. And then you have to, like, figure out, like, okay, what is a curve that goes straight from here to here that is like an even perfect curve? And then it's like, okay, what about this? And then these two curves are technically the exact same, but just mirrored. I actually fucked that up already. And this one's same. It's mirrored, right? But I'm trying to think about all of that while I visualize these spheres, right? And that is also extremely difficult. But either way, now, or visualize these ellipses. And now, like, speaking of, I'm trying to get the sphere involved as well, because we're trying to get the ellipse, right? And I'm trying to get the sphere, and this is so fucking difficult. Like, my brain is like combusting right now trying to see this entire fucking schema in my mind and on the page, right? Like, It is so fucking difficult, but we are... Fuck it, we ball, right? Fuck it, we ball. So, I'm trying to just visualize the box, trying to visualize the diagonal cross-section, the center planes, the ellipses inside those center planes, and then the sphere encompassing those ellipses, right? And we'll just leave... I'm just gonna keep trying to visualize it, just genuinely keep trying to visualize it. But now it's gonna be time to draw the features. I don't know why I said it like a game show host. It's time to draw the features. This is a fucking... This time everyone who wants to be a millionaire. Right, great, wonderful. Diagonal cross section. Right. See, I fucking curved it like this, but that's wrong. So that is the diagonal cross. See, that's still wrong. That is the diagonal cross section. So let's see, right around there, and then I'm just trying to think about the ellipse. There you go, something like here. So I think the fucking... Yeah, I think this starts here, the eyebrow line, or it's actually the center, but it's like right around there, right? And I'm genuinely trying to see the ellipse while I do this. It's so fucking hard, but I think it's like right around here-ish, because this is my center right around there. So there you go. And I'm obviously gonna get... I'm still gonna draw the guy's eyebrows. I know I said I was gonna do mainly super simple forms, but I still think it's valuable. And again, like I'm trying to fucking see the entire this fuckery while I'm drawing this, right? And that's another skill in of itself, an extremely difficult skill in of itself, right? But I am trying to get this. I am trying to let me try to explain myself, which I can't because I'm fucking struggling a shit ton. But I just want to get the simple. I do want to get the simple forms. But I also want to get the eyebrows. That's it. That's all I want to say. There's nothing more to that. I'm sorry, I betrayed you. But let's see. Yeah, that's already off. But this is the part where we're going to literally just start with like super simple. I'm gonna start drawing the fucking eye sockets and shit that Antonio always talks about, right? Because now we are in the midst of actually practicing the artwod, and like I don't even know if I'm doing this right. I gotta like double check if I'm doing this right. That is not right. That is not right at all. But let me see this guy's nose. We need to... Oh shit. Oh, you can see like his nose is kind of like curved upwards, right? But yeah, like we're basically gonna be simplifying every shape. Again, I can't think right now. Literally cannot think right now. But we're gonna be simplifying the nose into these very simple shapes. And I mean, they're simple for me. If they're not simple for you, that's normal. That's okay. I want to say that right now. If they're not simple for you, that just means you can improve your understanding of spatial reasoning after over hundreds and thousands of repetitions and get good, as the youngins say. Except I'm not young anymore. I'm fucking 28. So come cry with me, cry with me, cry with me. See, that was my mistake. I should just left it let it become a sphere like that, because it literally is a sphere, right? And then I also have to review the eye socket mannequin that he gets. But by the way, while I've been drawing this, I have not been able to see anything inside there. So like I have to take a step back and be like, what the fuck are you doing, Viggy? What are you doing? You have to see things, right? And now while I do that again, it's good because this still forces me to think about proportions, but it's way more form based. And again, while I'm doing this, I'm trying to zoom out. I'm really trying to think about the center planes, the diagonal cross sections, the ellipses inside of it, and the spheres that encompass that, right? Like I'm genuinely doing my absolute fucking... I'm really trying to zoom out. I'm genuinely trying to zoom out, right? And this is good because this way I can focus on the forms here as well. Yeah, like this is like a tapered form, right? Man, I made this guy's bottom lip I made way too fucking large. I didn't even put it in the right perspective. Either way, okay, so now we've done that, right? Now that we've done that, this is actually a great spot for me to draw, like the process is gonna be a bit different now, but we're going to draw, what's it called? Through the box now, right? We're gonna draw through the box, and I'm gonna do the jaw after. And you'll see, like, I actually fucked this up. Yeah, I fucked this up. It's okay. It's okay. I fucked the back of it up, but it's okay. Cause like I made it way too like diagonal, and it's actually diverging, so it's actually coming down here. See, I fucked it up. Something like that. There you go. That's a lot better. That's the box. So see, even a god like me can make mistakes. I know I already said that joke, but yes. Anyways, okay. So I'm trying to get, and this is basically like my brain is exhausted at this point. Like at this point, my brain is so fucking exhausted trying to visualize and understand. And again, this specific schema is going to take me so many years to build, but that's why I thought it might be appropriate to start at least simplifying forms while I do it, right? Because if it's going to take me years to build, then might as well get into the habit of deconstructing and simplifying the faces that I'm trying to build, right? Because this is the underlying foundation of everything that I'm going to be drawing on. It's the most difficult foundation. This is most definitely the fucking, like, without a doubt, the most difficult foundation that I'll ever build, which is fucking like 4 layers of perspective, right? But either way, I'm still trying to think. I'm still really trying to think about the center planes. Man, this episode. Okay, this session. God, I'm not a YouTuber, bro. Don't call it an episode. That's cringe. But this session's definitely gonna go on for a little bit, for a little bit. There you go. Oh, see, like I didn't draw this line properly, so it didn't connect. Lots of mistakes, just very constant mistakes being made. And of course, it gets muddied, right? Let's not forget that it gets muddied when you have all these lines getting involved, right? And intersecting and all that stuff. So, and again, still trying to think about the overall space that is being, what's it called? What the fuck am I trying to say? What the fuck am I even trying to say anymore? The overall space that's being calculated. Good job, Biggie, right? Literally no idea what I'm doing anymore. I know Parkit's always like one of my fans. I think he's a fan. He's more honest. He's more of a shit talker. He's like a passerby who just shits on me. I think he's a fan, bro. He's my fan. You're my fan, bro. But he like commented in the Discord. He's like it's something just about the fact that I'm always calling myself shit, right? But it's true. It's true. Okay. It is the truth. For if I'm not shit, where is? I can't think of anything that rhymes with shit, but fuck you. If I'm not shit, where is the bit? I don't know. But anyways, now I need to do the thing where I have to... I'm going to ghost the ellipse, and then in one go I have to think about... I have to make this ellipse decent, and I already fucked it up. Oh my god, that's... huge error. So obviously I'm going to try to rectify this. See, like I've struggled with, look at that, that's a very wrong ellipse. I struggle with that shit greatly. I honestly, I know I say this like every fucking portrait practice session when it comes to this point where I'm like, I should really practice drawing ellipses in a plane, but especially larger ellipses. Smaller ellipses I can do, like this exact fucking plane like this, I'm like, oh yeah, that's fine, right? Like that's fine. It's independent, that's fine. But then the second it gets larger, it's so hard for me to think it through properly, right? Because of course, the larger the scale, the more difficult the skill. Funny enough, like the larger the scale, the more difficult it is to apply or like make it proportionally accurate. And even this is like fucking ass. But there you go. Right? Very wrong. Trust me, very wrong. But either way. And now, like with this, and I need to think about the sphere as well, right? I need to think about the... See, I don't even know if I did that right. I think this is actually supposed to come out a little bit more. There you go. And then this is supposed to come out a little bit more. There you go. Okay, Jesus Christ, fuck it. I think this is the sphere, roughly. Oh my god. I'm still learning. Is that what everybody says when they're shit? Guys, I'm still learning. Well, this is horrendous. Like, this is genuinely horrendous. But that's the sphere. Fucking Jesus Christ. But what I was trying to say is, like, the whole point is, like, okay, like, with that, now I'm going to obviously think about the wedge shape for the jaw, right? And I think purely if I just do it as a wedge shape, right, it forces me to think about, okay, like, this is where the ear roughly is. It forces me to really, and this is something I'm gonna have to, like, figure out on my own. This is definitely something I'm gonna have to figure out on my own, right? Because, like, look, like, this is already off. Like, this is not even connecting it properly. But that's something I'm trying to figure out. But this is good, because this is basically me building the schema now. This is me basically starting to think in terms of Loomis, right? And then let's get the ear. There you go. That's the ear. The ear fucking wedge box shape, whatever you want to call it. Right? The three-dimensional ear. I don't even know if that's accurate. Whatever. We'll figure it out. But yeah, that killed my brain, as always, right? Really fucked my brain up. Fuck me up, fam. But anyways, yeah, that was very difficult. That was genuinely very difficult, and I could barely think at the end, but that's how it always goes. For me, I'm gonna consistently keep, and I need to remind myself to, like, add the portrait reference, like the face angle reference thing that I found through the artwod Discord. Somebody linked it, so I'm gonna put the link in the description as well. And yeah, like, again, easily another 100 fucking repetitions or whatever the fuck, right? To keep doing it. Yay. So yeah, I'm tired, bro. I'm tired. So with that being said, I hope you fucking tried a lot. I hope you did your best, right? I genuinely did try to the best of my ability, and every session I feel as if I could have tried harder, right? But coulda, woulda, shoulda, and that's how it goes. It's always about, like, I could have done better. So, but did you try? Yes, then you did what you could. But I 100% think I should spend, like, the next fucking 3 streams just practicing ellipses inside planes, because this is actually, like, a detriment to my ability to visualize, right? Like, the fact that I can't draw an ellipse properly, like, at this scale inside a plane at this scale, so it's definitely not good. I'm gonna have to figure something out. Maybe this will just be practice I do on my own, and then I post as a picture or some shit, or I just show you in the video, like, hey, I did all this. But yeah, with that being said, hope you fucking tried your best. Hope you did what you could, right? And with that being said, as always, fuck you for watching. Keep drawing, and please, like, give me my